I love you all. I love you all. Right, it is now time. Obviously, normally we'd have a loan report with Lauren. But before we even talk about that, I am Stanford Chidge, and this is the Chelsea FanCast. Welcome back. Yeah, Lauren, of course, not here. Last show for Lauren will be next Monday, so do check that out. And we might even squeeze a loan report out of her then. Lauren's last loan report. Very alliterative, isn't it?
Where's she going?
Look it up in a dictionary, people. Right, if you don't ask... She's going to Stratford, mate.
She can't get here in time on a Monday.
No, it's very difficult for her. And she's moved on to great... She's going to be working for BT Sport, mate. Yeah, that's good. You know, hopefully she can sort that idiot McManaman out. He's such a Burke on there.
Can I just say though very quickly about all this, because I keep meaning to say it on shows. So obviously we know Pablo's job hunting, and he went for a job before with the FA, and they asked him about. They were asking about things, and he said because he does a fancast, he wonders if there's confidential information.
They were seriously concerned about confidentiality issues. For half the interview was taken up with that.
So we asked the question when he got home about if they gave you the job, but you had to leave the Fancast, would you take the job? And he said, no, I'd stay on a Fancast.
Wow. I think that round of applause for Pablo. Wow, man.
And the thing was, it would have required a lot of compromising other stuff, and if they weren't prepared to accept that...
You are a legend. We should get on with it, really. Right, if you don't ask, that is brilliant, Pablo. I'm touched. A little bit of water's coming out of my eye, which is better than where it normally comes out, let's be fair. Right, if you don't ask, you don't get is where people can ask questions of any one of us. We have to tell the truth. It's like Truth or Dare. We have Skype calls, and if you want to make a Skype call, you have to add us on Skype, chelsea.fancast, okay? And hopefully set it up before we start recording, because it might be too late. We usually have a caption coming on at this time, so you can write it down, but for some reason there isn't. We can also ask questions through the Mixlr chat room, feed them through to Chadder, who looks after all that on the benches, mixlr.com/Chelsea-fancast. And of course, you can always send in an email, and I'll try and remember to look at them before we go to air and bring those in. That's Chelsea. I do sometimes. I don't always forget. ChelseaFancast@gmail.com. Sorry, no captions, but you'll just have to listen to what I say and believe me. Now, Chadder,
yes.
What have we got from this week? Far away, my son.
We've got loads, and they're all for Spy. All for Spy. I'll start with...
good job I've got some for us stuck away here then, isn't it?
The first one I got for Spy from Neil Hobson says, did he enjoy his USA tour in the summer? What about Las Vegas?
I don't remember. It was a buzz, and it's so brilliant. Chelsea fans being so passionate and living it all out there. It's sensational. And there was a photograph that came up at one of the games out there of Jose walking past the flag, Chelsea in America flag, and Beth Wild called me and said, would I be able to get Jose to sign something with that on it? And I said, ooh, and I grabbed him yesterday and showed him a copy of the picture. He said, yeah, I'll sign as many as you want, so how about that?
Lovely, I like that.
It's a shame Beth isn't coming over now as well, by the way.
She probably will. If I spoke to her last week, she's probably going to come over in February, but there we go. I do believe that we have an old friend of ours who, talking of America, now finds himself in America, but I do believe that we have him on Skype. Hope we do? Hey, Ray!
Hello, Chiz.
How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, how are you?
I'm alright. Have they arrested you in New York yet?
Not yet, mate.
Are you working
in
on
fact,
it?
No, we did get caught out once for having alcohol in our room, which is not legal at my age, of course.
Really, of course. I thought you were 30, Ray. I really do. Have you got a question for us or Neil?
Yeah, I do have a question for whoever wants to answer, really.
Right. Address it to someone. You've got to address it to someone. You know the rules. You've been on the show.
Does it have to be to someone?
Yep, you know the rules.
Pick a person.
Can it be to the benches?
Yes, it can be to the benches.
Our boys on the benches. All right. Actually, I've been thinking about the left back position a lot because obviously we gave Ashley a 1-year contract extension last year, and with a lot of people saying that this is possibly his last year at Chelsea, do people think that the likes of Bertrand or Van Aanholt are ready to fill in those shoes, or will we need to spend big on a well-known left back such as Contral, who Mourinho signed to Real Madrid?
And then never played.
Good question, Ray.
Because someone like Bertrand has started in big games, obviously Champions League final comes to mind, but is he ready to take on that position long term or not?
I think potentially long term he could be, but you're asking somebody who's not had a lot of game time at the top level to come in and replace arguably the best left back in the world over the last 5 years. So he's always going to be compared to Ashley Cole, whoever comes in there. But I think being English is really going to help. And obviously he's been at the club for a very long time and used to all of how it works in there. So giving him time, like all the others, I think he could fill a job in there.
Yeah.
Quality, Ray. Mate, it's really lovely to see you. Are you going to get back over to England at some time soon?
I will be over in December. I'll be there before the Arsenal away game in the league.
Lovely.
So I'll see everyone there. And on my wall of photos, I've got my greatest moment pictured up there.
Oh, we love that. We love that. We would. Yeah, round of applause.
I did say in the break you'd get that in somewhere.
Voted celery moment of the year last year, Ray. That moment.
I'm actually honoured. I will be wearing my FanCast shirt, but it's in the laundry.
All right, fella. Are you going to come and sit on the benches when you come over here?
Of course, absolutely.
We look forward to seeing you then, mate. We miss you. We all miss you, Ray.
Have a Guinness on me, boys.
We will, fella. You take care. Lovely to see you.
I have one illegally.
Are you going to have a nice Guinness lager there?
Off you go. Cheers, Ray. Nice to see you.
Nice one, mate.
Lovely. Now, it's great to see Ray. It really is. We do miss him on the benches. Right now, I have got. I'm wondering actually if Gary on the benches. If you got that text from your brother, or do you want me to read it out?
No, you can read it.
You want me to read it out? Right, Gary, or Garfield as we like to call him, or better still Gaffer, who is on the benches, has got a brother called Andrew who is out in Australia, and he's a great lad, as is Gaffer, and he has got this question which I think a combination of Pablo and Spy can answer this one. It's a bit technical for me. I don't say that you couldn't answer it, Darren, but I'm just being generous.
I've just badmouthed him, so that's why.
Well, there we go. He says, why have most of the goals we've conceded this season gone in at Czech's right-hand post? Is this a positional problem for Czech, or a weakness on the right-hand side of defence, or just a coincidence?
I'm trying to think about
you
it
can
now.
pass the buck to Spy at any moment.
Well, let's start off by saying we've let in fewer goals than anyone except Southampton for a kick-off. Czech could have done better on probably 2 goals this season. I'd say the Ribery goal in the Super Cup, which was his near post, right-hand post, was more difficult than the one Joe Hart let in this week, but was still one that Czech at his top level, I think, would have done better with. And the other one, help me out here. What's the other one where I think he could have done better?
Benteke?
No.
I don't think there was much more.
He was 15 yards out. There was no stopping that.
I don't think there was much more he could have done with the Norwich goal. I thought.
No.
It was a bit soft,
what was the previous one we let in?
Spurs?
Everton was his fault because he was the one who tried to do the quick counter attack and gave it away with his throw.
That's right.
The distribution.
That's right. Yeah.
So I think he has to take some. I think he has to take some responsibility for that. I think Cech is the most taken for granted player in the club.
Yes,
I think that he is definitely the best. One of the best 3 goalkeepers in the world. Buffon.
It's 4 or 5 during the ad break.
Well, I've ruled out Buffon and Casillas. They are both absolutely shocking now. I don't know how they're national goalkeepers, especially Buffon. But
he's got lovely hair though,
and he's a model professional. I love it because he always waves to the fans a lot.
He does.
And
I love that.
He's
got like a Kia Picanto as well.
He's in the zone. He's just not that kind of a guy. But what he is the guy who wasn't voted the best goalkeeper in the Premier League last season because De Gea was for the PFA 11, which just shows you footballers don't know anything about football.
Nor the football writers.
For me, he was the Chelsea Player of the Year last season.
Good.
As
All
well.
right. Well, there we go. Right now, I do believe.
Czech's fine.
We've got another Skype caller hanging on, but I want to get another question from Mixler or Twitter. Chatter, have you got another one for us?
Yep. Dan Silves, 73, our Spy. What does he remember of his first club call interview? Who was it with, and what does he remember about it?
I don't remember my first club call interview. What I do remember was my first club call game report, which was the pilot for Club Call. It was the first ever Club Call broadcast, and in those days there was no computer that you taped or you fed your report into. What was astonishing about it, first of all, was that John Hollins was the manager, and he was told that at 1 hour and 10 minutes to kick off, 10 minutes before the team was handed in to the referee, he had to phone me and give me the team so that I could put it out at bang on the hour before the game, which he did. And I went to see him afterwards and said, I don't think that's right. And he said, neither do I. And it stopped there. It never happened again. But the game, and I phoned in to Club Call to give the teams, and I said, they said, how long are you going to talk for? And I said, how long do you want me to talk for? And they said about 4 minutes, and I said, okay. And I mean, it was just that random, and off I went.
You could talk for 4 hours, Neil.
And that would just be on the Chelsea 11,
exactly.
Never mind the opposition. So, but then I had to do a report every time there was a goal. A 2.5, 3, 4 minute report, so that whenever and if there was no goals midway through the half, so you do a pre-match, a 22-minute and a half time, or when there was a goal. Fine. Except that they were taping it and then putting it reel to reel onto the computer, the huge Club Call computers. Wow. It was in 1986. The game was Chelsea 2, Nottingham Forest 6.
Whoa!
So every time I was doing a report, I was phoning back and saying, actually, forget that, I've got another one. And then halfway through a report, I said, oh, damn, they've scored again. I didn't say damn.
Excellent story.
I said one of those words. So that was the first ever Club Call. I think they were still at 1-0 when it was about 4-1 trying to load up another
I love that.
And can I just say, if you remember that game, this was the season we were relegated.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
No,
it was the
hang on.
season before we were relegated. But we got to 2-4 down, and Kerry Dixon got through on goal. And in those days, when Kerry got through on goal, it was a goal.
Yeah, exactly.
And that Dutch geezer at Nottingham Forest, who's now a top coach in Holland, can't remember his name, pulled him down. When he was, no, defender, defensive midfielder. Played for years for Forest, I can't remember his name. Pulled him down.
Method.
Yeah, Johnny Method.
Well
played.
Knowledge.
Well played.
Thank you.
Johnny Method pulled him down and stayed on the pitch. Because in those days, last man pulled down wasn't a sending off offence. What's that?
Proper football, Neil.
27 years ago.
You could kill somebody in the box and you wouldn't get a penalty.
Well, it was outside.
Oh, no.
But
Even better.
But he was through 1-on-1.
Right, I heard we've got Skype call on the line, guys, have we? Oh, I know this lad. I'll let it be a surprise. Hey, Asa Clark. How are you?
Not bad, Jay.
I'm very well, mate. How's your show? How's your sport? What's it called? Sports Talk?
Sports Talk UK.
Yeah, we've got a professional on the line, people. Asa knows his stuff, and he's got his own radio show, Neil. How about that? He's also got a haircut like yours. So there we go. Simpatico. What's your question? Actually, you've got a bit more hair, to be fair, Asa. What's your question?
My question to Neil is, with Courtois out on loan at Blaircombe at the moment, next season when he comes back, do you think that he'll come under regular starting place?
To back Courtois.
What about Cortez?
What about Cortez?
So will he come back, and will he get a regular starting place
Courtois.
next year? Yeah, if he does.
If we're talking about Czech being one of the best 2 or 3 goalkeepers, 4 goalkeepers in the world, I think we're talking about Courtois being that now as well.
Yeah.
Atletico Madrid, best defence in Spain last year. He's going off to the World Cup, which Czech isn't. He is.
It's all right. He'll have Ashley Cole and Frank Lampard to play with.
He is a serious contender, Courtois, and we'll have to see. I mean, I think Jose would like them both.
I mean, wouldn't we all? I mean,
I
don't want to. See, this is the thing. It's a horrible balance, isn't it, Asa? I think because we got. Hang on a minute. We got Czech, who's clearly still one of the world's best. We got Courtois, who's probably going to be the world's best. You don't want to lose Courtois, but he's not. I don't think he's going to play games if Czech's still in goal.
I think the thing is that I liken it to Carlo Coutinho and Czech.
Yeah.
When Czech was first born, no one really knew who it was, and Jose Coutinho Beck, and then we were wondering why, and when they got like 1,000 for a clean sheet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the thing is with that as well, though, with the Reading game when Cech and Cudicini both got injured, obviously Cudicini came back first, and I was always saying that I thought that Cech would have to fight for his place, that he'd be on the bench, that Mourinho would wait for Cudicini to mess up or for something really to happen, but straight away, as soon as Cech was back, he was straight back in the team. Mourinho never ever gave it a second thought. Cudicini from then must have always known he he was always going to be second choice to check.
He knew from 2004, first day of the season. I mean, we've had this before, of course, for those of you who are old enough to remember, when in 1966, for a world record fee for a goalkeeper, we signed Alex Stepney, who played one game, and then everyone realised...
and won a European Cup.
Yeah, but he was signed because Peter Barnett wanted to leave because he couldn't stand Tommy Docherty. He was
really.
He was.
Is that why he wasn't at the '63 reunion?
No, he was unwell that day. Otherwise, he would have been there. No, they're fine now. But Stepney played one game, and Docherty actually said he was going to play them in alternate games, but didn't, because he realised straight away who was the better goalkeeper. It's really, really hard, but it's fantastic that it is that hard. And at some stage, someone's going to have to make a decision that maybe we ought to go for the younger one. But that night, if that's not the right decision, then it's the wrong decision. If you see what I mean.
It's really hard, isn't it?
And
Asa?
for someone who believes that we always discarded Peter Bonetti too young anyway.
Asa, so are you enjoying the new format on the telly?
I certainly am.
Are you going to come and join us one week? So we'd love to have you on the show, on the benches, or even round the table if Ross is ill again. You know, he gets ill a fair bit, so you got a good chance.
If you have me on, yeah, definitely.
Love to, mate. It's brilliant to speak to you again. Thank you very much for coming on.
Cheers, Asa.
We'll see you again soon.
Bye, guys.
Benches, Cheddar. We got another person, a question from the Mixler crowd or the Twitter people.
Quite a few. Gigi Salmon wants to ask Neil what's been his best Chelsea TV moment.
Is that really from Gigi?
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
I've got a question for Gigi.
Actually, if it's from Gigi, then without any shadow of a doubt, the moment when, if you can just picture these two side by side, and I dropped a glass of water. It was a recorded show, and I dropped a glass of water on my shirt, and someone rushed on and took my shirt away in order to iron it so it would come back as though without a big wet stain on it. And the camera came on the pair of us, and of course she was in there in all her perfect TV clothing, and I was there, and of course you couldn't see the trousers, so I was there naked as far as anybody could see. And there should be footage somewhere of her in absolute hysterics, sitting next to me, looking totally naked next to her. So that's one that's never been talked about.
That's how they always used to broadcast. The newsreaders would have a dinner jacket and white, dinner shirt on, and then underneath they just have their underpants. Everybody knows that. I've got a question for Gigi, actually. Gigi, can you marry me? Because if you married me, then you would be Gigi Chigi, and I think that would sound really, really good. All right, so please take me up on that very kind offer. Chad, have we got any more?
Yeah, one here from Chelsea Lad 66 wants to know from Neil what's his favourite Chelsea chant.
Right now, it's the Willian one. It's the others I can't possibly say because of the list.
No, in fact, actually, we could play Chelsea chant bingo with that list, couldn't we?
The words. Oh, the word is on it. Yeah, I can't say it.
Yeah, so I think the Willian chant is great. I think,
it's not a bad word. Can't I say that word?
No, we have to say poo instead of that.
No, that word.
Is it my old man?
I said cojones, which I thought got us round that.
It won't work the same way.
No, it won't, will it?
I've just got to say that word.
No, I'm a big fan of the William one. I'm just thinking, Chad, have you got any more?
One more here from.
Have you got any for us?
No, we're not popular tonight. Sorry.
Why we bother?
But I can ask Darren this question. How does he think that Jose's reintroduction to Chelsea has affected the atmosphere within the club? Not the fans, but within the players and staff.
Sadly, I think only one person really can answer that question. I'm going to have to throw it on over to Spy.
He's the best manager the club's ever had, the best man manager the club's ever had, the best organiser the club's ever had, and the best coach the club's ever had. What do you think?
Sadly, they can't reply live, but I'm sure they might put something on the chat.
I've thought of a song. It wasn't a chant, but it was a song.
Yes.
It was a naughty one, but I can still tell it.
Go on,
okay. And it's in response to.
I am looking worried, by the way.
It is in response. Earlier on, you sang a Gary Glitter song, or you reinterpreted a Gary Glitter song when we came back. Would you just like to repeat that?
I said Chelsea are back.
Chelsea are back. Hello. There's no rude words in that one.
When Gary Glitter was first arrested for his shocking actions, and Graham Rix had recently come out of jail and was back working again, and was in the staff dressing room, and Gwyn Williams had been for a run. because that's all Gwyn ever did. And he came back in. He came back in, Gwyn, really sweaty. He was beginning to put weight on. By the way, Gwyn is a Chelsea legend. I'm not going to take the mick out of it.
10 seconds, Neil.
He came in from his run, absolutely sweaty, looked around the staff dressing room, saw Rico sitting there, and he broke out into, "Do you want to be in my cell, my cell, my cell?"
On that bombshell, I think we need to go to a break, after which we will be back to give you a bit of Chelsea news and some stats from the Chelsea Chadder Chad Meister.